Come on in and say hello. I'd love to hear how you're all doing today. Oh, it's so good to see Sarah Cassidy's here. Hello, hello. Say hello to each other. Say happy Monday. Let's say good morning or afternoon or evening. Those of you joining us from Europe. So thrilled that you're here in the lounge. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have been thinking about you all a ton because I had a weekend that was emotionally challenging. Anybody else? Just put in the chat. I also smeared my chapstick. I'd love to hear if anyone else felt like, it wasn't necessarily like the easiest emotional weekend in the world. Maybe you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend and it felt challenging. So the good news of that, the gift in it, because in thought leadership, we always talk about great leaders find a gift and opportunity in every situation. Okay, so I have a pocket coaching coming out for you guys later this week on this, but great leaders will turn anything into a gift and opportunity. And you are all here to be, you already are, and you're here to be and contribute as great leaders. So the good news when things are, a little bit challenging, whether it's externally or internally, I find is that it's an opportunity to innovate something. It's like, okay, what's going to get me out of this hole? And then I can share it. I can do something with it. I create something with it. So yeah, exactly. We're growing from it. So welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. Those of you joining us on all the social platforms, hello, hello. So happy to see you on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else this is broadcasting out. And we have a really fun episode today. We're going to do two things. I'm going to share with you a technique that can help you release resistance, fear, doubt when you are working on something and maybe it isn't happening as quickly as you want it to. Okay, so that's what the main thing that we're going to do. We always do in the lounge. We're doing some mindset work and we're doing some strategies, some external work. And then I'm going to take some more publishing questions. Last week, we talked about all my inside knowledge from the AWP writing conference, and I'll be continuing to share some highlights from that and answer a few publishing questions at the end. So we'll go for kind of about a half an hour today in the lounge. And first, ironically, even though I talked about overcoming challenges as one of our objectives today, I'd like to hear what's going great for you. What's going great, either from the weekend, from today, this morning. It can be personal, it can be professional. We're going to do what's called a win streak, WIN. It's a technique that I love that we do in Thought Leader Academy. And we're going to do a win streak. So what's a win that you've experienced over the last 6 days since we were together in the Thought Leader Lounge? Go ahead and put that in the chat so that we can celebrate you, get inspired by each other, get into some high vibe energy. Like, yeah, let's get some wins. Nice. Sarah has felt more guided in the last week. That's so beautiful. Karen, you worked on your one sheet and it's looking good. Awesome. Julie is stuck to her habit of writing every day and not missed a day. Woo! That's awesome. Beautiful warm Saturday walking by the Fraser River. Who bought you a cool hat with your man, Carrie? Oh, so beautiful. These are great. Oh, Pam did a closet purge. I love. Get ready for some financial abundance, Pam, because every time I clean a drawer, a closet, a file, more abundance comes in. So it's a really great technique. If you're feeling any anxiety about money, organize something in your personal belongings or your professional belongings. It's really, really powerful. So good job. These are great. These are great wins. These are great wins. Yes. Oh, Paige, you took a horseback riding class. Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. That is awesome. Yeah, I got to have a great time with my husband and son this weekend. My son wanted to host a sleepover. So you're jealous. I know all of you not having a basement full of 12-year-old boys. It was hilarious. And I remember at that age, all I wanted was sleepovers. Like that was my favorite thing in the world. And I just was really excited to get to make that happen for him. So we're starting with some wins because we want to remember that even if something's challenging, like there are really good things happening, right? And then we can build on that momentum. We're also going to do another drawing. Remember, every week we have a retreat ticket saved. Those of you that want to keep entering to win the Write and Grow Rich retreat in New Orleans, Louisiana, coming up May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, you can put retreat in the comments if you're on social. We'll go check those, or in the chat here on Zoom. And we will let you know later today if you are a winner. That is going to be a phenomenal 3 days of writing workshops, mindset transformation, powerful networking and connection, so that you can not only finish the projects, your books and articles and writing that you're going to that you're working on this year, but that you monetize those things. You really create incredible impact for the world, an incredible abundance for yourself. Okay. So keep putting your name in if you want to win a ticket, and our team will contact you if you are this week's winner. All right. So we're on our win streak. That's what we're starting with today. This is a great exercise to use any day before you sit down and write, send emails, whatever that might look like. You're just focusing on what's working. All right. Now, with all these wins, most of you put something down there. Is there anything that is not happening as quickly as you'd like to see right now? So just check in with yourself. Is there something that's on your vision board for this year that either you're not seeing any evidence of happening, you're not seeing as much as you'd like has already happened, maybe you have a new vision and it hasn't come in yet? So put me in the comments if you're on social, in the chat if you're on Zoom, if you have something that's you want and it isn't already done yet. It isn't already here yet. Yeah. I mean, I hope we do, right? Because otherwise we're sort of probably phoning it in this year if everything's already done by March 20th for the whole year, right? Good. Yeah, I love that. Julie. You're going to build. Yeah. So amazing. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you something that really has helped me when I've got something I'm working on and I feel like there's either delays or a setback or just nothing's happening yet. I have so many clients in Thought Leader Academy message and come to coaching and say, nothing's happening yet. I'm not seeing the results yet. I'm not, right? It's really sometimes hard to walk in faith. Okay. And this doesn't have to be a religious faith, just faith in your vision, faith in your calling, faith in that you can do it, faith in yourself. It might be a spiritual definition of faith as well, if that's true for you. So what I want to do is a micro technique today that's going to help you if you're having a moment like that, or you'll have it in your toolkit for down the road if you need it, right? So this is when you're like kind of feeling some attachment, right? Maybe it's a financial goal. Maybe it's a writing goal, like some of you are sharing here. Maybe it's you want to go out and speak in a certain place. Like what we want to do is use this technique when we're feeling like, oh, there's a thing I really want. I'm going for it. I really want to see this happen. And I don't see the results yet, or enough of the results. Okay. So that's what we're tuning into right now. So everybody just take a minute, close your eyes, and really get in touch with the desire that you have. Something that you really desire, but you haven't seen much evidence yet, or not the amount that you want, or maybe none at all. And see if you could even conjure up some fear or some doubt or some resistance. We're purposefully generating these feelings so they aren't suppressed. We want to get them out. Okay, put me in the comments or chat when you have something that's really important to you. You really want it, and it isn't happening as quickly as you want, or you're not seeing evidence of it at all yet. Okay, let's see. I want everybody to have something so this can be done in real time. I want you to feel this. And then go ahead and check in inside yourself, okay, as you're thinking of that thing, and see, where does that fear and anxiety reside in your body? Okay, I'm thinking of something right now that really feels important. I really want it. I'm going for it. I don't see all the evidence as much as I want yet in form. And where is that in your body? So notice, is it in your belly? Is it in your chest? Is it in your throat? Is it all over? And just take some big, deep breaths. We're not pushing this away. We're not suppressing this. We're going to shift it. Okay, great. So now I'm going to ask you a strange question. What's great about not having this yet? What's great about it? All right. Your first instinct is going to be like, nothing, Sarah. It's a goal I have. I want it. I want it more. I want it now. Right. And I feel that way about the one I'm doing this exercise with, but I'm asking this very intentionally. What's great about it? Sarah Cassidy's saying, because I still have a dream, right? It's a dream. Dreams are exciting. They call us forth. They stretch us. Yeah. Beautiful. Staying motivated to win, Michelle. Nice. And watch what's happening in your body as you identify something, even if this is something you really, really want and you can't think of anything good about not having it fully manifested yet. Just see what happens inside yourself when you say, what's good about not having it yet. I was coaching someone ways back and we got into some relationship stuff, and she was really, really, really wanting to meet her partner and create a marriage and a family. And so no one wants to hear, well, what's great about not being in that? But she's like, I get to travel wherever I want. I don't have to negotiate. I don't have to enroll someone else. I just go wherever the F I want, whenever I want. Like that was actually kind of great. But even though she was so clear that she was ready and she wanted this relationship and was, going to do whatever she needed to do inside herself and outside herself to do it. Okay. Paige says she gets to stay comfortable. Karen, it's teaching her to surrender and to trust. So what's great about it? Now notice what happened in your body. Put in the chat if you notice a difference around this desire when you put some attention onto where you're holding it first, and then what's actually great about not having it yet. What came up when I did this over the weekend is that if I already had this particular goal that I want to see so much more movement on, I wouldn't be in a resourceful energy. I'd be like, oh, cool, yay, which is fine. It's nice to be relaxed, but now I'm motivated. I'm engaged. I'm doing, creativity work. What does it get to look like? Your body relaxes a little bit, Carrie. Yeah. I start feeling like that clenching inside me, that kind of like sort of fear or attachment or doubt or worry sort of really changes. I say, what's great about this? Now, we don't just stay there and say what's great and give up. That would be resignation. That would be settling. That would be bullshit. That would be playing small. But what we do get to do is first say, what's great about it? And what that does is a powerful release of resistance. Imagine like a dam that's blocked, suddenly that breaks open and the water can flow. And now we just get to say, okay, well, we know there's a way. So what's my next step? What's my next step? Just there's a way. And remember, we're not asking, can this happen? Powerful thought leaders were asking, how does this get to happen? Can it happen is like, oh, I don't know. And when I'm in that, it's just so easy to excuse myself out of actually trying. How does this happen? What would let this happen? What am I thinking? We did that earlier in the Thought Leader Lounge, right? What thoughts create that result? I think that was last week. So this is the exercise. If you find yourself kind of hooking in attachment, focusing on the gap instead of the gain, feeling doubt and worry, hey, what's good? What's good about this right now? Maybe I'm becoming more freaking resilient. Maybe I'm becoming more creative. Maybe I'm getting more inspired. Maybe it's going to call me to reach out to someone, make a connection I wouldn't have made if this was already done. Sarah Cassidy said, I get to have a dream, right? That's juicy. It's exciting to feel desire. Desire is life force. It's actually been proven in research that desire gives us life. And actually, when we continue to have desires and dreams and a sense of purpose, we live longer, we're healthier, we're happier, more fulfilled, we're nicer parents and kids and partners and coworkers. So it's a great one. That's a huge win. So this is our technique this week. I'm going to notice if there's any fear, attachment, anything. We're going to breathe, feel it in our bodies, and say, well, what's good about this? What's actually awesome about being right where I am? And then once that resistance clears, then we say, okay, now I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on again. What's the next step? This is done. I get to. What's the next step? So let's just take a moment and breathe. You might kind of download some next step right now. You're going to get a nudge later today. If not, it will happen because you showed up here to do this work. So just a breath. And just make a note. If there's any nudge you're already getting, if there's an action step, now that you've opened up that resistance, if you feel resistance again, you just go right back in, feel it in your body, take a few breaths, say, what's great about being right here? And once that clears, okay, what's my next step? Okay, we're going to do 30 seconds of silence just to tune in to any nudges that want to come through for today. Okay, take a deep breath. And just put in the chat if something sort of came to you. Did you have a little insight, or maybe it was an affirmation of something like, you know what I really should do today, and now you're feeling like I'm going to actually do it. So you don't have to write what it is. You can if you want to, but just put me in the comments or the chat if you feel like you felt something starting to move you forward. Yeah, Michelle did. I love it. Remember, it's really a treasure hunt at this point. At this point, when we're being thought leaders, you set the vision, you know your vision is yours, it's meant for you, you get to have it. Universe has your back, and then it's just following the nudges. Release resistance, follow nudges. Release resistance, follow nudges. In the Science of Getting Rich for Women book, right behind me here, I'm like, I got to match my fingers. I got to learn how to, there it is. We talk about you be the vision, know you get to have it, right? Release the resistance, and then do whatever you do if you knew you were going to be successful. So Saturday morning, I woke up and I just felt, I didn't feel great emotionally, mentally, my mindset, like, right. Meaning just around my vision and my goals. I just didn't feel, I felt some self-doubt. I felt some stuff coming up, and I did this practice and some of the other tools that I use. I'll send you the pocket coaching to everyone this week with the whole step-by-step process. And I got into such a creative flow. The next 3 hours were just absolutely phenomenal. I just was having idea after idea after idea, right? And that's what, but if I just bypassed, right? If we just bypass and say, oh, okay, let me just pretend it's all fine. No, I had to feel like shit first. Excuse me. I don't know if I think now that we're streaming, I've got to watch my swearing. So I did not feel good, right? Okay. So who's going to use this process this week? Put me in the chat if you are going to use the process of just without judgment and fear, noticing if there's any resistance and fear going on, letting yourself feel it, taking a few breaths. What's good about this right now? Release the resistance and follow the nudges. Like, what would I do if I knew I was going to make this? I knew this was going to happen for me. I knew it was going to be successful. What's the next step? That part of us already knows. That's great, Paige. Scheduled a call with the Chamber of Commerce. That's beautiful. Awesome. Before we just do a last few minutes, we're going to just do some of the publishing questions. Just typing in the chat. So if you have a publishing question, you can get ready to put that in the chat in a moment. I also want to share the call and response that happens when we live this way, at least in my experience and with our clients in Thought Leader Academy. Okay, so when we get really intimate with what we're actually feeling, we support ourselves lovingly like this. We don't make ourselves wrong for feeling fear. We don't suppress the fear. We don't ignore the fear, deny the fear. When we really take the ride, in my experience, what happens is that we draw to ourselves all kinds of synchronicities, not only really cool opportunities to fulfill your vision, but even to motivate us along the way. So I want to share the two that happened one Saturday, one Sunday for me after I did this work. So the first one was, I love the documentary series called The Chef's Table. So put chef in the chat if you ever watched the Chef's Table docuseries. There's a whole bunch of different seasons of them and everything. I love them. They're just like spectacular cinematography and really inspiring. My husband and I love watching it together. So while the group of 12-year-old boys were sleeping over downstairs, that's what we treated ourselves to, getting to watch a Chef's Table. And it was the pizza series. And there was the woman who was the featured chef in the series is a Korean American woman. And she said, she faced really huge resistance from her family at her going into creative field, right? The family immigrated over. You're supposed to be a doctor or lawyer. The story many of us grew up with parents who had an agenda for us, that it was not important. What did we want? Who were, it's like, this is what you need to do. So she had the family pressure of her family having expectations for her that did not include a culinary career. And then she had the fact that she happens to be Korean American, and people had an expectation of what kind of food that meant she's supposed to cook. And she loves pizza. And she has created a James Beard award-winning pizza restaurant in Minnesota, of all places. I mean, how fun, just so many layers, right? Not in New York City or whatever. And she has obviously created amazing impact and success in her community and for herself. And she's doing what she really loves. And she was kind of sharing all the pressure from the family and sort of the cultural expectations of people thinking, she as an Asian American woman isn't supposed to do pizza and all the crap that, people get put on there. And at one moment, she just kind of looks at the camera and she said, it just got to a point where I just said, and I think I can't because we're streaming on all the platforms, but F fear. Okay, so fill in the whole word. It's much more fun to say the whole word. Fear. Okay. And it was so powerful. And I needed to hear that night, because I was kind of like still, am I listening to fear? Am I not listening to fear? I got myself out of it this morning, but it's kind of wanting to come back in the back door. F fear. She's like, F fear. Like, I just got to live my life. I got to be who I came here to be. I got to do my thing. F fear. So if there's something in that this week for you, after you go through this process, you just get to say, F it. You don't get to rule me. You don't get to have my life. You don't get to make my decisions. You don't get to drive the car. F fear. Okay. So I loved that. That was mine. And then last night, when I feel like there's just a lot of emotions going on, I really do love to ask for signs and affirmations from life, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's very comforting for me to feel, again, call and response. Like, I felt like I watched that episode of That Chef's Table that night because I needed to hear her say that one line. I mean, made me want to eat pizza. So that's cool. We made pizzas on Sunday. Like we it was all good. But the real point was that one moment of fear. Like it doesn't get to it's a choice. Fear is a choice. It's not something we're victim to, right? And on last night, I'm getting ready to go to bed. And I was just like, I'd set an intention that I would receive some kind of sign and affirmation about just like full throttle to what I'm doing, or like, do I need to make any adjustments? And I putting on moisturizer. I have an eye cream that I ordered online a while. I've never looked, you just like I take it out of the cabinet automatically, tap it on my face, put it back in. I've never like examined the packaging. A friend told me it was an organic eye cream that she liked. And I look at the lid I have no idea why. Why did I turn the lid like this and just stare at it? Never have. And the whole front of the lid says all in gold letters. And if you all watch and follow us on Instagram, a month ago, there was a day, because I don't every day be like, I need a sign every day. But like a month or so ago, I had asked, and I saw a billboard on the highway that said all in. So it was like, yours is like, yeah, just keep staying all in, girl. Like, just keep staying all in. Right. So what's there for you in this story? I would love to hear in the comments in the chat, like, what's there for you when you think about, like, there is a call and response when we live all in. It's not the comfort zone. It's just not. And actually, someone forwarded me a Simon Sinek podcast interview, and he talked about there's no creativity in the comfort zone. You will never get creativity when you are comfortable. You're just not going to. So if you want creativity, if it's important to you as a writer, as a thought leader, as a visionary, as a change maker, as an industry disruptor, all like, then just don't even think that's where you're living, because creativity and innovation and breakthroughs and life-changing and game-changing work comes through the chaos, the discomfort, the living outside. That's where it is. Yeah. Can happen later. Oh yeah. Karen wants to know what eye cream it is. Yeah. It's called 8 Saints. I'll have Hannah put it in our Amazon store so you can find it. It's called 8 Saints. It's got all organic, natural. Okay. So I love this. Yeah. All in means flow, Julia. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. The answers are there if we ask. Asking is so powerful. So what are you going to ask for today? What are you going to ask for today? Let's do it for real. Let's ask for something. Maybe you want a financial miracle. Maybe you want the willingness to write. Maybe you want to have the courage to send that email to the person you want to partner with on an event, someone's stage you want to speak on, a media outlet that you want to go guest expert on. And then if you notice when you ask that you clench, did anyone get a little like, oh, I don't know if you can have that, or, then we just go in and breathe. It's like, all good. What's great about this resistance? Ooh, I get to do some mindset work. I get to have a shift. I get to experience the joy of going from feeling resistant and separate to feeling totally aligned and one with. Yeah. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. So we're going to wrap up today. If there were questions you had, publishing questions, last week we talked about the inside scoop from the AWP Writing Conference. It's the Association of Writers and Writing Programs, 28,000 people in writers, readers, publishers, agents. We were together in Seattle 2 weeks ago. And so we talked about what are readers wanting right now. And one of the most important thing that readers are wanting right now is they're wanting upliftment. They're wanting authenticity and upliftment right now. So even if you're writing an apocalyptic, YA trilogy, make sure there's some hope in there, right? That's what, again, you do whatever, we're not at the whim. We don't write just for our readers, but this was a question that came up for the lounge. Like, what are people wanting right now in terms of readers? And then of course, whatever the readers are wanting is what the publishers and the agents and everyone is wanting too, right? So that's a really, it's a really exciting, I love that because while I love writing short stories, which are typically pretty dark and, like have a lot of unhappy endings, I really love happy endings. I'm an optimist. It feels good to me. So what else, let's get 3 questions in the chat that we can address. Trends in publishing, something you're wanting to know about. Last week, some people were asking things about, the different types of publishing. Are we seeing any changes between self-publishing, hybrid publishing, traditional publishing? I think what I want to say that we didn't have time to get into last week on that question is that we're at the best time in history to be a writer. You're at the best time in history to be a thought leader and a writer because you have more agency than ever before in choosing the kind of publishing model you want, the kind of attribute. Before it was basically either you did some like really not nice self-publishing job that looked exactly like that, or you were, had to go through the 4-year agenting process and, the publisher keeping 90% of the profits and making all the creative decisions, right? So now it's people talk about in real estate, it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. Well, it's a writer's market right now, in my opinion. It's a writer, meaning that you get to choose from so many phenomenal places that you can get published and really have the experience that you want, whether that's you want your book out faster, whether that's you want to have full creative control over your book, whether you want to wait and do a traditional longer with like the big 4, publishers in New York, and you want to take a few years and go down that adventure, like whatever it is that you want, like there are a ton more options. And, people have been complaining for the last 15 years as authors. Yes. Do authors have to do more marketing themselves? Yeah. Than 20 years ago? Sure. But there aren't the same gatekeepers. It's so much more democratic. It's so much more diverse. And there aren't just a few privileged people in New York City and London and Berlin deciding if your book gets to get seen by people. And to me, that's everything. The freedom of that is worth like whatever else we end up doing. So yeah, Michelle, it's inspiring you to finish your fiction book. Yes, exactly. With some upliftment. Yeah. It's so good. And authenticity, right? If you disagree and you're like, I'm going to write a really dark book that's like got a really hard ending, then you absolutely do that. Because it's not about letting anyone outside you. That's the other thing I came away from that conference with. The number one regret I heard people talking about on panels and on in the different workshops and the different, book signings and parties and things that we were doing, the number one regret was people who gave their power away and let someone else tell them something really important that their own intuition, they knew it wasn't the right thing for their project, whether it was like, the title or the book cover or the genre or the whatever it is. that is just not, it's just, it never works. And now I don't mean that we're not open, right? Because sometimes publishers and agents and, marketers and people have phenomenal ideas that are so much better than what we even think of. That's about having a mastermind, sort of approach to this, which we totally want. But if that it's like, this is the way I know this is supposed to be, then sticking true to that is so powerful. People don't regret it at the end. They're like, I'm so glad I listened. I'm so glad that I listened to my gut on that. So I think, if we think about themes right now, authenticity, upliftment, giving people, excitement and hope about what's happening in the future, and really remaining true to what about it is your work, and you really having agency in that. Yeah, so powerful. Anyone else has questions? If you're on Zoom, pop in the chat if you have a publishing question. Before we wrap up, I can take probably one more. And then we'll preview what's coming next time. You can always make requests for what you want us to cover in the Thought Leader Lounge. Absolutely, always let us know requests. Yeah, so any final publishing question? I'm just going to check here. Okay, we might be good for today. I love that. So what action are you taking between now and when you go to bed tonight? We're starting off Mondays. Thought Leader Lounge is on Monday for a reason, so that we can have a very, very powerful week. And we can really do some incredible things by starting off with massive momentum. So what are you doing between now and the end of the day? I know some of you already committed. You're going to do some writing today, which is so awesome. One of your actions can be to sign up for the Best-Selling Book Intensive. We have a 2-day free training. Okay. This is our gift to you. Our whole team's coming on. I'm going to train you in our very signature, proven, effective book writing model for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, at the Best-Selling Book Intensive. So yes, if you need that link, thanks. Okay. You've got the link here. And you can join us next week we won't have Thought Leader Lounge next week because I'm going to be training in that room for 2 days. We're going to be there. Marietta is going to be there. Alexis is going to be, we're going to have our team in there, and we're going to do some powerful work. Whether you're thinking about a book, you're in the middle of a book, you've got a book and you want to make the book work better for you and monetize better for you. Okay. That's going to be a really, really exciting Best-Selling Book Intensive next week. It is free. Okay. That's our gift to you. And you can win a ticket then to Write and Grow Rich. Was a great thing to do after the book intensive, to go right into that retreat where we're going to be together for 3 days in person, including guest speaker Amy Yamada is going to come in and teach how to use the new technologies, ChatGPT and others, to expedite your writing process. You get your projects done even faster and better, but we have to know how to use these tools. All right. So we're going to have some really exciting workshops and trainings coming up at that retreat. So if you want to be entered to win, you're going to find out. We're going to let you know the winner no later today. Put retreat in the chat or in the comments. If you're on social, we'll go grab those and you can win a ticket to that retreat. Yes, Carrie is going to edit her chapter to post in her LinkedIn newsletter. Awesome. Amazing. So good. I am going to do an hour of writing today. That's mine. That's my action. Yes. Sara Cassidy is revising her story goal and character arc for the first chapter. Yes. It's revision. It's the juicy part. So good, Sara. Awesome. Thrilled for you. Anyone else want to put your action in? Remember, if you make it social, you have a 90% chance of completing it. So there's no reason, if you're on social or Zoom, not to go ahead and take advantage of that here. Jamie's going to spend some time brainstorming book concepts. I love that, Jamie. Yes. Pam's going to do an hour of writing also. Awesome. Work on your invite and collaborations for book 2, Karen. Excellent. These are so good. And we'll go read all the ones on social as well. Okay. So next week, we are going to be in the book intensive. So sign up for that. You'll get the email. We'll post the links on social. You get to join us for 2 days. We're not just doing the lounge. We have a 2-day workshop together. And then you've entered to win. If you want a retreat ticket, we'll make those awards today, and we'll send you information if you are the winner. And then we have in April for the Thought Leader Lounge, we are going to a different platform. So we won't be in Zoom, we'll be live on the platforms. We'll tell you how to join, because we have found out that it is more optimal for our viewers on social to be able to do it that way. So we are learning together, and that'll be coming up in April. So we'll keep you posted on where to join the lounge. And we'll always, of course, those of you who are in our community on our list, we'll send you the replays so you can check it out if you miss it live. Awesome. Yes, exactly. And I'll still see all your comments. You can go in through Facebook, YouTube, wherever you want to watch it, and we'll still get all the comments. All right. You all are amazing. These are powerful actions. Who's willing to have a more productive and powerful and aligned day than before you came to the lounge? You can just say me or raise your hands if you're on Zoom and I can see you. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome today. Remember the technique. Okay. Just to recap, if you jumped on late, you're going to think about a desire that you have that maybe is bringing up some fear, maybe some doubt. Maybe you're having some gremlins about, will it happen? I'm not seeing evidence yet. You're going to, instead of freaking out about that, you're going to feel it in your body. Where's that sitting? And then say, what's great about not having it yet? Right? It's a weird, paradoxical question because you really want it, you're really committed, but also what's great that it's not here yet. There's going to be something, an opportunity, a gift. Then you're going to release that resistance with that question and then listen to the nudges, follow the signs. If anyone's read Paulo Coelho's beautiful book, The Alchemist, the whole book is about just knowing your vision, following the signs. So that's what we're going to do this week. I will see you all next week at the Bestselling Book Intensive. I'm so excited for us to have that time together. Have an amazing Monday, an amazing week, and let's be really powerful, intentionally powerful. You do have the power. You have agency in this, and you can create truly the best week of your life so far. All right, everybody. See you next time.